Well, right now it's good morning, YouTube. Depending on when you see this, it may not be. But as promised, it's Saturday. I'm on my usual trip to go to my brother's to work on the CCKW, as usual. But before I left, I figured I'd give you a quick show around the police package Crown Vic, since it's pretty much my daily driver. I do have another vehicle, but this thing's so cheap to drive that it's cheaper to drive than my 4-cylinder SUV, which just boggles my mind, but there you have it. So, without further ado, I'll flip this around, and through the magic of editing, which I'm still trying to learn how to do, there it is. My 2003, yeah, that's right, I said 2003, police package, Crown Victoria. I've had this 2 years now, and I don't think I bought it, I think I stole it. But it's my daily driver. I have another vehicle, which is right there. Let's see, Jeep Patriot, 4-cylinder. It's a good little SUV. But this takes the cake. So as you can see, it's here every day, old style, Crown Victoria. Police interceptor on the back. Nothing fancy. Those of you that were really paying attention, though, seen the difference right away. And that's what makes this one different, is this little sucker right there. Now, this may be common out where you are, but around in southwestern Pennsylvania, it's not very common. So I figure I'll give you all the details first. It's a pretty standard Crown Vic. Nothing special, other than it says natural gas on it. I got this with 53,000 miles on it. That's right, 53,000 miles. And it's a Chief's Special, or a Detective Special, depending on how you want to look at it. But it never had a cage in it. It belonged to a federal agency. That's all I can find on Carfax. It's got the standard police package seats. It does have carpet. It's got a full regular interior. Well, let's see if I can show you the back real quick. Did I open it up? Yeah, I did. So the back seats aren't just your standard plastic back seats. It's an honest-to-God passenger style back seats. You know, vinyl, leather, whatever you want to call it. Carpet all the way throughout. This is pretty much the way I got it. Pretty much. It didn't have all the police stuff in it. So we'll give you a little shot of the inside here. Didn't really do much to it. So right now it's got a whopping, what's that say? Can't see. 71, almost 72,000 miles. Yeah, and it's got the certified calibration speedometer. Other than on the inside, it's pretty much a standard Crown Victoria. I put my police radio back in it, and then I've got the hideaway windshield lights in it, the dash cam, and then if you look in the back, you can see my arrow stick back here, my traffic stick for the back. Pretty standard police package. But what makes it different, well, I'll pop the hood so you can see under the hood. It's got the push bar, brush guard, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay, this is going to get interesting. Set you down for a minute. I'm trying to do this by myself with my phone. If any of you had these Crown Vics, sit you down. Here, you're gonna look at the sky for a hot, quick minute. Really? Number one. There we go. Okay. Oh, you're gonna have to look at my hand too. I'll edit that out. But there's the engine. Nothing spectacular. Your standard 4.6 liter. Really, nothing all that electrifying. And it's pretty much what you'd expect to see. The giant difference in my Crown Vic compared to other police package Crown Vics is going to be back here. This is where mine's going to be different. So you ready? This is where mine's different. That is how mine is different right there. I don't have a gas tank. I have 5 natural gas cylinders. 3 of them in the trunk, 1 behind the seat. Well, actually 2 behind the seat. But yeah, I don't have a fuel tank. If you look under there where the fuel tank's supposed to be, there isn't one. And I know what the next question is. What? How do you fill it up? Well, you see it's got a gasoline door, right? You fill it up like any other car. So my Crown Vic is no different from any other Crown Vics. I got the 2 buttons. I got the trunk release and gas release. That releases the gas cap. And that's where you fill it up at, right there. You take that little rubber cap off of there and go to a CNG pump and pumps it right in there. So, but yeah. So that's the giant difference. Right, you can see a pretty good shot of one of the cylinders right there. So, and then there's the big shutoffs, control valves. But yeah, it kind of stinks on trunk space. But other than that, it's a pretty standard Crown Vic. And it uses all the same fuel lines. And the only giant difference, which you can't see unless I take that V8 cover off of there, it uses different fuel injectors, different size, because it doesn't take as much natural gas as gasoline. And there's a shutoff solenoid, kind of like right there where the alternator is, kind of like right there in the center, but up on top. There's a fuel shutoff solenoid to shut the gas off going to the fuel rails. But other than that, it's a pretty standard police package Crown Vic. I think it runs a little better. Being a state constable, I know a lot of guys that have Crown Vics, and I think mine runs just a hair better. Guys that drive their gasoline Crown Vics compared to mine say mine seems like it's a little peppier. If you go by Ford, there's no difference at all in the spec. But there you have it. That's my police package Crown Victoria. Such as it is. Told you mine was a little different. And because of the price of compressed natural gas around here, this has become my daily driver. Compressed natural gas, even with all this crap going on, and gasoline prices pretty much falling out of the world sky here. Compressed natural gas is still cheaper. So I keep driving this thing, because driving my police package Interceptor is cheaper than driving my 4-cylinder Jeep. So as long as that continues, I'll keep driving it. So there you have it. Long and short of my Crown Victoria. If you want to know anything else about it, shoot me some questions down in the comments. This video is going to probably continue a little bit because I am en route for work on the CCKW Saturday. And I'm sure we're going to get into something else too. So hopefully this will pick back up in a little bit. And when it does, and we do something fun or interesting, I'll turn this back on and I'll show you. I'll see you here. Well, for me it'll be a couple hours, but for you it'll be seconds. So just don't move. Don't move. Just stay right there. Well, here we are again, race fans. Truck time. I'll give you an idea of what's going on here. So, in my absence, Sean turned around and found and painted the windshield defroster vents. Since we got the heater box all resurrected and rebuilt with a new heater core and a new blower motor and a new fan. And we got the Y pipe that comes off of the heater core, goes to each vent. And then, now that's in primer, we'll paint it. And in the process of putting in the windshield washer or the windshield defroster vents, which is what he's doing now, we find out that our brand new windshield that we just put in, that's right, has a crack. So before we commit Harry Carey,
windshield number 2?
Windshield number 3.
Nah, it's number 2.
Is it number 2? But the windshield was in. Well, it's still in. It's just broke now. We thought we were done with the windshield. Oops.
Ow.
He's in the process of putting in the windshield defroster vents. We can figure out how to operate a screwdriver.
No, it's trying to find a little.
One thing I also didn't cover is the back window. Back window's in. We got the window protector on it. At least that one didn't crack.
And we could do some modifications here.
Don't fit.
Mm-mm.
Difference between a commercial cab and or a World War II cab and a civilian cab.
Yep.
We're gonna modify the hole.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna modify the hole.
Either that or cut this lip off. Cut like here and here, so that comes up in here.
I think I'd cut that before I cut the dashboard.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, well, we'll modify this and come back. Well, now it looks like a piece of sweeper. Just gonna suck you right out of the thing. That's a communications portal to the back bed.
That's even the holes. Even the holes down here are gonna be way off.
Well, so maybe better off cutting the dashboard and putting new holes in.
I want to cut this first.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna cut this first and then make some kind of mount.
All right, well, we'll continue with that. Okay, so we'll modify this and come back. I'll bring it back once we go to put it in again. Okay, for those of you that are still with us, it's only been a couple seconds for you, but it's been 4 hours for us. But the upside is that vent's in, and that vent's in. And now the heater box is in with the splitter, and it works. So now we just got to run the flexible ductwork from that splitter to that inlet of that vent, and that inlet of that vent, and we'll have it. Now, if you're thinking, well, gee, hey, those are sticking up. Well, they're going to stick up because the dashboard sits on top of that. So if you look up here at the dashboard, so this is the dashboard, and these vents right here. So those orange pieces stick through here. There's one on the passenger side and one on the driver's side. And they'll stick through the dashboard. So there you have it. And somebody's not real happy about his windshield. He's we'll just say distraught and on the verge of committing Harry Carey. So, and I think that's what we're going to call it a day. Little bits and pieces. So, I think he's going to play around with putting the weather stripping around the doors. If you look at the doors, there's weather stripping that goes around here that seals it against this door right here. So then that's right here. So that all has to get holes poked in it and get screwed to the cab. That way when you shut the door, you get this nice seal and keeps stuff out between the cab and the door. So, what seems to be the next thing. And for those of you distraught, worried about the windshield, that bubble wrap has another pane of glass. It's just, we got to take the whole windshield apart to do it again. And literally have to pull everything off the windshield. I'll have to pull this rubber gasket off, which was, needless to say, fun to get into there. And then these frames are actually two pieces, and then that center bracket's another piece. So you have to take that center bracket out, and then take the screws out of the top joiner and the bottom joiner to pull the halves apart. And then we got to cut the glass out and clean out the groove in here, and put the butyl back in here, put the glass back in, and then put it all back together again. Yeah. But to do all that, everything's got to come back off. The bracket's got to come back off. The window opens. The air conditioning has to come off. The seal has to come off. Yeah. Yeah. Buy a 70-year-old truck, they said. Rebuild it. It'll be fun, they said. Somebody's not happy.
Bring your voltmeter.
I did.
Put gas in that generator.
Oh, we're going to play with that generator? Really?
It's going to take like 10 minutes.
Oh, jeez. He's bound determined to play with his generator. Hopefully this will be the last time we play with this thing. So, this is the generator we keep talking about. So, that's the generator kit. And then the generator itself. So we had to get this all redone. We put a new governor on it, or redid the governor, put new hose lines on it, put a new filter on it. The carburetor's new. We had to clean the tank out. The tank was a mess. So I guess we're gonna fire it up and see if we get the high voltage DC out of here or the low voltage DC out of here. We found a bunch of fuses down here. There's a little tray down here that stores all the extra fuses. See that? Well, we're gonna play with that. We ended up changing this fuse. This fuse was still good. So I guess I'm going to see if we can electrocute ourselves. So I think we're going to end the video right here. So until the next time I decide to do this, probably next Saturday. Once again, like, subscribe, comment. And I still can't believe anybody's watching this at all. It just blows my mind. Until next time, stay safe. Take care.